Welcome to my first of several videos on xiang checkmate methods. Today we'll be discussing face-to-face laughing checkmate. And that really relies on the fact that the two generals may not face each other on the same file. So we'll start with red, moving his rook here to check the green general. Green really has no choice but to push his advisor here in the way. Now red will make a very great sacrifice by taking the advisor. Really, green has no choice but to capture, right? He can't retreat without staying out of check, and he can't go into the center file because that's currently being occupied by red general. So he must capture. Red then pushes the soldier one space to the right. Remember that once the soldier successfully crosses the river, he gets a little promotion and now may move one space to the side as well. Also remember that the green general must stay within his palace, and he's already at the corner here. So he can't move forward and capture the red soldier. He must retreat. So now red brings his cannon here to check green general. And really, again, these really aren't choices. These are just things that green must do. Green now must put his rook here in the way, taking the heat off the general and essentially putting it onto the red soldier. Now red pushes the soldier up one spot, checking the general. The general here cannot capture without putting himself in check. And by that same token, the rook cannot capture without once again putting the general in check. So green has no choice but to retreat. The soldier moves one place up again. For the same reason we just mentioned a moment ago, red soldier is protected, and again the green general may not move to the center file because the red is already there. Checkmate. Here we have a second example of face-to-face laughing checkmate. This one will begin with our front cannon moving up here to check the green general, using his own advisor as a catapult. Green replies by capturing that with the elephant. Now red will sacrifice his other cannon, checking once more. Green really has no choice here but to capture that cannon with his rook. And now red again will make a very intelligent sacrifice here, capturing that. Green advisor will take the red rook. And finally, we now have red rook coming here to capture the green one. Checkmate. Now this is a bit more subtle form of face-to-face laughing, because while the generals are not, in this case, facing each other, it's face-to-face that's pinning this advisor down, preventing him from blocking this. You see? That's an illegal move. So, and the fact that now green general, whether he were to move to left or right, would still stay in check. So that's checkmate. Here's a third example of face-to-face laughing checkmate. And in this one, red starts off thinking a bit defensively. So he pushes his advisor to this corner. Remember, he's essentially pinning the horse's leg down and preventing horse from being able to attack this space. That'll pay off in just a moment. Green really has no choice here but to move here. We push our pawn up a spot, and green's doing what green tends to do, which is try to checkmate. So he hasn't given up on that. He comes here, checks our general, but our general can move up a spot safely, again because green's legs pinned down. Again here, pretty much green has no choice but to now capture, and we take our red rook and capture that advisor. Checkmate. right? Our red rook is checking the general, and it would be pointless to move up a spot. But again, the general cannot move here because of face-to-face laughing checkmate. Checkmate. Here we have our final example of face-to-face laughing checkmate. We notice here that red's in a little bit of a tight spot with green knocking on the door. If it were green's turn, all he'd have to do is move his rook here to checkmate red general. So it's a common tactic in xiang, just as in chess, to go on the attack yourself. By checking, green here really has no choice but to again put his advisor in the way. Red replies by bringing his cannon over, checking. Green replies to that by kicking our catapult out from underneath us, essentially, to end. We then move our cannon out of the way to check, again with our rook. Green replies by pushing his advisor back in the way. Red replies by pushing his soldier one spot to the right. Remember, once the soldier crosses the river, he can move side to side. Green realizes what's going on, so he retreats his rook to provide some assistance. Once again, red brings his cannon here to check the general. Really, again, the only choice green has is to move his advisor out of the way. Red soldier moves one spot to the right again, checking the general. The general comes and captures the soldier. And finally, we get a checkmate by moving our cannon out of the way again, checking with the red rook. This again is face-to-face laughing. This entire file is taken by our rook, and the general cannot move over without facing the red general. Checkmate.